So on today's video, we are basically going to be discussing MyFitnessPal, how you can use MyFitnessPal to help you work towards your goals. And I think this is such kind of like an asked question about how if you track kind of food raw, there's so many different questions like, do you have premium MyFitnessPal? What's the benefits? Like I said, like I was going to say, it's not an ad at all. Like this is literally me wanting to kind of produce content that is also going to help you guys work towards those goals. I love doing my 4 days of eating, obviously, and like that is just me to a T, but also I want to kind of bring education at the same time. So I thought, do you know what, every kind of other video, maybe like once a month, I'm going to just sit down and kind of just chat about a certain topics. Obviously I did how to grow your glutes. I've done obviously about my weight gain journey and kind of my tips, like confidence, like working around that, and kind of my experiences myself. And now I thought, you know what, let's do MyFitnessPal. I use it every single day unless I'm kind of having the day off of tracking. So it's kind of like the perfect topic to talk about. And obviously with New Year, a lot of people are kind of starting their journey. A lot are kind of maybe wanting to take their journey a little bit more seriously. It is person dependent. I'm not kind of saying new year, new me kind of vibes. But a lot of people had different kind of questions around this topic. So here I am. I put it on my Instagram story, kind of asking just what questions you had, and I will kind of take them and then just touch on the topic. So I think I've got like a 15-minute video. I don't want to make it too long because I don't want to make it boring because I could chat for days. But I've got myself my big coffee, although it's not really big anymore because I've drunk most of it. I've got my black Americano with sugar-free MyProtein flavour drops because it's my literal fave. So let's excuse the backdrop. I still haven't got anywhere to kind of sit for filming, so I'm just sat on my bedroom floor. Okay, so first question is tracking raw or cooked. I get so confused. This is literally asked so much. Raw. Do it raw. So if you've got like your chicken breast, if you've got your beef mince, pasta, rice, raw, and kind of so obviously before you cook. So for me, for pasta, always weigh it out prior to cooking, and then let's say for example I've got like 2 portions, I'll cook let's say 200 grams and then just simply split it once it's cooked. So always weigh raw. Check the back of your kind of packet for things like rice, pasta, etc. Just because sometimes they put them on, like scan them on MyFitnessPal as cooked weight, sometimes it's raw weight. So you can work it out because it will say in the packet like 180 grams of cooked is, let's say 75 grams of raw. So I always just weigh obviously 75 grams. So yeah, always cooked raw. That was a quick question, look, a minute. Do you track your veg? Yes, I do. Some people don't. I didn't in my last bulk, but I am now. It just, yeah, for me, I just do track it. It's entirely up to you. If you are in a deficit, I 100% would advise tracking it because at the end of the day, it's calories. And like if you have, the more and more you have, obviously the more and more the calories add up. So I definitely would recommend tracking it. Things like lettuce that are literally the absolute minimal, you don't have to, like it is personal preference. I would, like I did when I was on prep, and I do track it now just because I do, because obviously it has got calories in, but it is up to you. It's not like no one's gonna come and moan at you if you don't track it. It's just personal preference. So moving on, how do you track when eating out? So for me, I have, obviously it's Christmas, so it has been a little bit different to this, but usually I have 1 meal off of kind of tracking per week, and sometimes I'll make it a whole day if I want to and just kind of eat my usual like breakfast, lunch, and then just go out for dinner and like obviously my usual snacks. But in terms of if you are wanting to track when you go out, now what I would advise if you're kind of going to a place like your typical Nando's or your Wagamama's, something like that, they actually have their nutritional values online. So Nando's for us is the easiest thing when Harv was cutting and I was kind of obviously bulking, because he could get his kind of options that would fit his cut, and I could then obviously bulk it up with different things. So for us, Nando's was a very easy thing, and that's something we used, ate so much during his cut. And that was kind of like our 1 meal out per week, where we kind of call it like a date night. But if you're kind of wanting to go out, you don't have to track, like you can loosely track. So let's say you're going for some kind of like pasta, or you're going for a steak or something, you could go, right, let's just save 800 calories, push that to the side. Don't kind of be fixated on, oh, how many grams of carbs has it got, how many grams of fat has it got, protein. At the end of the day, you're not gonna be perfect. Nobody is perfect, and you're not going to get it to a gram. because you're not cooking the food. Another thing you could do is if you know you're kind of going out for, let's say, a Five Guys, because obviously it's kind of higher in calories compared to like a Nando's, you could maybe save like 50 calories from, let's say you're going out Friday, you could go, right, 50 calories from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That in total, you've obviously saved 200 calories, and you could have them on Friday, so you've got a little bit extra more room to play around with. These are kind of just small things you can do. Like, if you just want to take the meal off, take the meal off. Like, it's not going to ruin progress, and I think that's the biggest thing I want you guys to remember, that a meal off is not going to do much. So moving on. Okay, how not to become obsessive / know when to stop tracking. This is personal, obviously personal to the individual. Now, if you kind of find yourself maybe a little bit obsessive around the whole tracking, take a step back, and it's something I definitely would recommend. Try intuitively eating. You don't have to track to reach your goals. It's just something that I enjoy doing, and I have done for a long period of time now. Like, I have a good relationship with food, and it doesn't kind of, I can take my days off, I can take a week off. Like, I took 4 days off for Christmas. I've taken a week off for the holiday. Like, when we did 10 days away on holiday, I took all 10 days off. It's up to you. If you do find yourself kind of a little bit obsessed with it, then take a step back. It is okay to not track calories. Like, if you feel it doesn't work for you, then that is okay. Like, instead you can intuitively eat, so make sure you've got like a high protein source of every meal. So if you're having your 3 meals, like your breakfast, lunch and dinner, have your high protein source. You could then have, let's say, maybe a protein bar as a snack. You could also have like a protein shake as a snack. You could also have a biscuit as a snack. Like, it's intuitively eating. So if you do find yourself obsessive, or you are kind of wanting to start using MyFitnessPal, how about tracking for 1 day per week? How about 2 days per week? You don't have to track every single day. You could use it maybe once or twice a week just to get an idea that you are still hitting that protein, for example, or that you are actually still hitting those goals. So it's very person dependent, and you don't, just because you see someone else doing it, may not work for you. And I think that's what we have to remember here. Wow, I'm flying through these. I'm actually quite impressed with myself. What to do when the label says something different from scanned items. So what you will see I am doing is, I've obviously got my calories on rest day because it's rest day calories for me. So meal 1, let's say for example I want some cereal and it's kind of not entering correctly. Now what you can do is, as you'll see here that I'm doing, is you can quick add. Now we can then input sorry, we can then input our calories. So what we can do is, if let's say you're having like a 60-gram portion, you know it's 6 grams of fat, you know it's 50 grams of carbs, and then you know it's like 5 grams of protein. We can then input that ourselves. Yes, it does take a little bit of working out and kind of figuring out, okay, how much grams am I having of the cereal portion? I then need to maybe times that by 2. If like the recommended size on the obviously labels is 30 grams, now I want 60 grams, okay, just simply double that. And we can then use the quick add, even if then you'll see it doesn't, it just says quick add. Or alternatively, let's say we've got our cereal again. Let me write in cereal. So I've got my Cheerios here, like you can see. So if it's kind of wrong, what you can do is obviously adapt the portion size. So like you'll see there it says 30 grams. And if I go, actually, I've got, let's say 35 grams. So that's quite a small portion of cereal for me. I do usually have about 100 grams, but we'll go with it. So 35 grams, you can see that I can make it a lot more specific by simply changing it from the recommended serving size, so from 30 grams to 1 gram. And it makes it so much easier instead of kind of having to work it out and do the quick add. So you can alternatively do that. Obviously, you have to make sure that you bear in mind that sometimes MyFitnessPal is not always correct. You can obviously scan food, which is really, really beneficial. I would check every time that you kind of scan the food that it is entered correctly. Sometimes I've had it before. I've actually had a client before when she scanned, I think it was a Galaxy bar, and honestly the protein that it came up with like 50 grams of protein for this small bar, and I was like, there's something wrong with these calories. And we then looked deeper into it and we realized that the Galaxy bar had actually been entered in incorrectly. So we do just have to bear in mind that sometimes you may have to look over everything, but the more you start using MyFitnessPal, the more you'll see, again, I'll show you here, the more you'll see that it remembers your history. So as you can see, I'm scrolling down and you can see these are all my favorite foods that I eat pretty much every single day. So I've got my fish cakes, I've got my potatoes, Brussels sprouts, rice, my cereal, my square bars, my cyclic dextrin. These are literally all foods that I eat every single day, and it's remembered them. So the more you do it, the more you use it, the more it will remember it, and the history will build up, and you can then just click on the food, press the 1 gram to alter the serving size and alter how much you're actually having. How precise should you track? E.g., do you weigh things like veg, fruit and seasoning? So in terms of veg and fruit, yes, I do weigh my veg and fruit. In terms of like preciseness, now, you don't have to be to the absolute gram. Obviously, it's very person dependent. On prep, I would be like to the absolute gram, sorry, because that is prep. Now you have to remember that you're not competing, probably, you may be, and if you are, yes, competing, you do need to be a little bit more precise, just due to the fact that it is competing. Whereas if it's for a lifestyle diet, you don't need to be to like the 0.4 grams, if that makes sense. So let's say you've got a piece of fruit that weighs 0.34. You do not have to put 0.34, you could just put 0.3. It's a case of it's not going through in progress. As long as, obviously, as long as you're consistent with doing what you are doing, that is absolutely fine. So in terms of myself, I will have days where, let's say for my macros, I may be 5 grams over on fat and 5 grams under on carbohydrates. It's not gonna kill. Like, as long as I'm not, let's say 20 grams over on fat and 50 grams under on carbs, it's not gonna ruin anything. People need to remember to turn off exercise calories, correct? So MyFitnessPal does, you can interlink with your kind of Apple Watch if you've got that, or any kind of watch for your steps and also your actual phone steps. So what I would recommend is delete the exercise. Let me see if mine's got that on there and I can again, there we go. What you will see is here it says step count is 0 currently because I haven't moved, and what you will do is then simply delete that, because that will change kind of your calories. I will simply delete that and it changes the calories left. So we have to bear in mind that MyFitnessPal does kind of whatever exercise you do, it then takes it away from the calories, so it gives you more calories basically. So I would recommend deleting the exercise from that if you have a set calorie goal. So in terms of how do you split it, label the breakdown of meal 1, meal 2, meal 3. And this then also interlinks with, is it worth paying for premium? What are the extra benefits? So one of the extra benefits, like I've just said in one of those questions, is that you can label it meal 1, meal 2, meal 3. And then also, I will show you again on the screen recording, I'll move myself over, is the fact that when I go onto goals, customize my calories, you will see that I can then be a lot more precise with those calories. Now, if your calories are the same every single day and you're really good at kind of remembering your numbers, then you don't have to make adaptations to kind of these parts here. Like, you don't have to move it. So today I'm on rest day, so my food is at 3,500, so I do not need to move this at all. But if kind of you are really good at it, what you can simply do, let me just delete my exercise, is you can simply just go, okay, yeah, I've got to remember I've got to hit 200 grams of carbs, 450 grams of 200 grams of protein, 450 grams of carbs, and 100 grams of fat today. So you don't have to get the premium. Like, it kind of, yes, there is benefits to it in terms of ease, but you don't have to get it. Like, we just get it at the start of the year, pay it off for the entire year. I think it's like £40 potentially. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. And for us it's just easier, and we kind of just can then scroll like with our different calories. But you don't have to get it. Like I said on there, you can see that you kind of can change your meals around. You can change the labels, so you can do snack meal 1, snack meal 2, snack meal 3 kind of thing. But you don't have to do it. Like, there's not any huge benefits of it. And if you kind of want to save money, then don't bother doing it. Just kind of stick to the free version. Okay, so final thing is kind of a roundup. Now, MyFitnessPal is brilliant. It definitely has its benefits. Now, if you're kind of wanting to be in a fat loss phase, what I would recommend, tracking your calories for, let's say, maybe 1 to 2 weeks, seeing how consistent you are, measuring your weight as well. So you can then see, okay, with the food I'm eating, is my kind of weight maintaining? Is it dropping? Is it increasing? You will then know, okay, these are my maintenance calories. I'm not really changing weight that much. Okay, actually, I'm dropping very gradually. Like, I'm dropping like a little bit each week. I am then in a deficit. Or okay, I can see my scale weight is increasing. I can then see I am obviously in a surplus. So it's very, very handy of a tool to kind of see where you're currently at, obviously alongside those goals. So if you are wanting to kind of, let's say, lose weight, you can then use MyFitnessPal to put yourself into a deficit. What I would say is, please don't use the kind of calories they recommend. A lot of time they will recommend 1,200 calories, and it's a case of it's obviously not sustainable. So I would, like I just said, track your calories for a week, see where you're currently at in terms of food, and of course try and be as consistent as you can. See where you're at. Also kind of bearing in mind that if you're eating out, then yes, obviously your calories probably will be a little bit higher, and then you can kind of make adjustments as needed. So if you can see, okay, yes, I'm maintaining, my weight has not changed in these 2 weeks, you can go, okay, let's maybe increase expenditure. So increase your steps, increase your cardio. Okay, yep, let's then gradually reduce calories. I'm not saying slash those calories crazy low, because that is not kind of sustainable as it is. You want to do maybe a small drop. Let's drop by 50 calories. See how my body responds over the course of a week or 2. Then make changes to that. it's a case of you have to remember your weight is not going to drop or increase like absolutely rapidly. You want to make sure you're giving it time. So check in with yourself weekly. Use MyFitnessPal if you want to. If you're kind of not a fan of it, you don't have to use it. I hope this is kind of a little bit helpful, and if you guys did kind of enjoy the whole sit down, a little bit of an educational chat, then please let me know. I love doing these. I find it's kind of a lot more personal. Obviously with Instagram there's only so much I can touch on, just due to the fact it's like photos. So being able to kind of sit down and chat for like 10 to 15 minutes really is, I quite enjoy it, and it's kind of, yeah, I love it basically. So if there's any other subjects you want me to chat on, please let me know in the comments. I'm going to do probably a 4 day of eating next week, back to my 4 days of eating, which I can't wait for, and then we can go from there. But I hope this was useful. Please hit the like button, subscribe, let me know what you want to see down below, and I will catch you guys next week. Any other questions about MyFitnessPal, pop them down below. Like I said, it wasn't an ad, but yeah, I hope this video was useful, and I will catch you guys next week. I just thought I'd look at the end of the video and say, hello, everyone please like the video. Please like the video. Goodbye, catch you guys next week.